Peace, peace, peace. This your brother Monroe Jr. Please forgive me if I'm not as lively as I could be. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm up working. I've been hearing a lot about Donald Trump and Congress and them not being able to come to terms pertaining to the border wall. A lot of Americans think it's foolish, it's buffoonery that they can't come to an agreement, and there are federal employees that are impacted by this. In fact, Border Patrol agents are borderline almost not getting a paycheck.
Now, government workers are stuck trying to make ends meet as they go without a paycheck during this shutdown, now moving into day 20. The major debate is over more protection at the border. But as 2 Works For You reporter Ashley Wheeler found out, those who protect our borders plan to work no matter what. Ashley?
The United States is protected each day by Border Patrol agents who told me today they could feel the impact by the end of this week. Border Patrol agents at the El Centro sectors currently patrol 71 miles in Southern California. Public Affairs Officer Anthony Garcia says right now his office hasn't yet felt the sting of the government shutdown.
It's a bi-weekly check, so pretty much the next pay period it would go into effect.
But if that happens, Garcia says they are prepared with how to deal with their finances and benefits.
Everybody's going to have an individual plan, yes, according to their own finances.
Regardless of whether the shutdown continues for a month, 2 months, or even a year, Garcia says they will not stop.
The Border Patrol will continue to perform its duties and protect our local communities and the nation as a whole. And here at El Centro Sector, we take that very seriously.
Garcia says his hope, along with the rest of the nation, is for a quick resolution.
And if the border is so important to Trump, then we should make sure that, you know, these people get paid, you know, so they're able to take care of their livelihood. As most Americans, a report came out, so many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now. But a lot of people think there are more pressing and critical issues. I concur, I agree with that notion, especially like a lot, you know, some Americans are worrying about jobs, and a large place that a lot of the jobs are being allocated is in the private prison industrial complex, where you have a lot of people in prison who are working for $1 a day. These corporations are waxing rich, and they can't even use the skill, a lot of the training that they get when they come out, because a lot of these companies require you to have a clear background. And then you have a lot of CEOs outsourcing jobs for cheap labor markets. That's another place. So really, instead of being mad at the Mexicans whom they say are coming over taking their jobs, that's where the jobs are really being funneled to, right? And plus, America's over $20 trillion in debt right now. I'm going to show a video of the debt clock. This country is in trouble, and we have serious issues that need to be tackled. Finally, this country, Mexico, this part of where I reside, Texas, Arizona, California, New Mexico, all used to be Mexico. It was stolen from them because they didn't want the slavery of black people, history that they never teach us, because they don't want the black and the Latino to be united. As their ancestors were raped, they speak Spanish. Our ancestors were raped, we speak English. It was the conquistadors who went up through Spain and conquered our Latino brothers, so they speak Spain. They speak Spanish, excuse me. So the real illegal immigrants or real illegal aliens, please stand up. As this land was stolen from the native people, I'll roll a clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan going a little further. Peace.
They say there are 12 million undocumented aliens. They're frightened. Mexicans becoming politically active, economically strong. Now they take little Mexican babies that were born in America, send them back, deport them, and send the mother back with them if the mother wants to go. If the mother was undocumented, the child was born in America. Well, you say, okay, what should we do? See, you want to punish the ones who come across the border, but I don't read where you're punishing the manufacturers that use cheap Mexican labor. I don't see you being hard on corporations that have fled the country and put manufacturing in the hands of cheap labor overseas. Millions of manufacturing jobs have been lost, over 7 million manufacturing jobs by ceding manufacturers to cheap labor markets overseas. That's traitorous to the country. See, you got to call it like it is. Is money more valuable than the sovereignty of a nation? See, this is our America now. We got to say something about this. Now the borders have to be sealed because you don't have employment for the millions that you do have. But if you seal the border, you should make a track for everyone that's here to become a citizen. Now, why do I say that? See, you got to go to the root. That's what radical means. Go to the root of the problem. I wish, do you have upstairs that map of what Mexico looked like before white folks took it? Give me a microphone. I want to go down here. Testing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This was Mexico. See? Texas was a part of it. New Mexico was a part of it. Nevada, Arizona, California, part of Colorado, part of Wyoming, part of Utah. That was Mexico. Well, how did we get it? I use we, but it ain't me. It ain't us. We're not a part of the crooks that belonged to Adam, the first crook. But look at this. Here in Texas, this was Mexico. Over here, Louisiana, right? Mississippi, Alabama. See, this is slave states all up in there. So Mexico wanted to populate some of the northern part of Mexico, so they allowed the Americans to come in. See, that's how it starts. Come in. You let them come in before, and you lost everything, right? All right, you let them in. so the whites came in, then they began to bring their cousins in, their uncles. Before you know it, they wanted to bring slavery in. The Mexicans did not approve of slavery. What? Mexicans didn't approve of slavery? No, they didn't. So the whites, in order to get around that law, they called them indentured servants for life. Now, let's see if we can start a war. See, that's how it happens. You got to understand the modus operandi of the enemy. He comes in, he makes trouble. Then he starts a war. Then he takes what he had in his mind all along by superior military strength. How did we get Puerto Rico? How did we get Cuba? How did we get the Philippines? A lie was told. A ship got blown up in Havana Harbor. The ship was called the Maine. And that led to the Spanish-American War. And after America won the war, Cuba was ours, Puerto Rico, the Philippines. So a war started over here. And Americans won. They went all the way down to Mexico City. In the treaty that was signed, I think it's called the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Texas was taken. Then for $15 million, they got all of this. 15 million. So the Mexicans that were living here, you could stay. Isn't that nice? Or you could retreat below the border, but the border of America and Mexico now was the Rio Grande. Now here comes some Mexicans. You open the door. This is the land of promise. This is the land of opportunity. So they come. Well, that's good. They're hard workers. They work in the fields. Back-breaking work. But they do it. And they've made America their home. Close the door. But give them all a chance to be citizens. Now wait, don't use them. See the path to citizenship. Join the army. Hey, 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 hey. What the hell is that? See, you just like ancient Rome. You conquer people. You don't want to fight for your own country, so you bring immigrants in, and the pathway to citizenship is you put them in the army, then send them to die, and if they live, then they can say, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of slavery. Of thee I sing. See, this is rough talk.